We have reached our second big milestone here at the Capitol, the opposite house cutoff. Bills that have not been heard and passed by both chambers are now dead for the year. We have spent the last week on the House floor voting on Senate bills. Hi, I'm Representative Roger Goodman of the 45th Legislative District. In this Good Minute, we'll talk about some of the major Senate bills that the House passed last week. The House has now passed more than 548 bills. 312 were voted out unanimously, and 429 got 80 or more votes. We also passed a number of bills that got yes and no votes from both Democrats and Republicans. Crafting policy is about the art of the possible, and that often leaves some on both sides of the aisle unhappy. We have considered several bills that will have major impacts on community safety here in Washington. In particular, the issue of drug possession and public drug use, and the issue of high-speed vehicle pursuits by police. In the middle of the legislative session 2 years ago, the Washington State Supreme Court invalidated the law criminalizing possession of controlled substances. Instead of returning to the status quo war on drugs approach, the legislature forged a new path, focusing on substance use disorder treatment rather than criminal sanctions. We knew that this was an abrupt change, so we put a 2-year sunset on the legislation we passed in 2021 and created the Substance Use Recovery Services Advisory Committee to provide the legislature with recommendations to expand treatment and recovery for people suffering from substance use disorder. The 2-year sunset expires this July, so we are now moving legislation to refine how we deal with substance use disorder. The House just passed Senate Bill 5536, which ramps up recovery support that has proven to work, builds out low-barrier access to treatment, and provides avenues for accountability with plenty of off-ramps to treatment. The bill recognizes that substance use disorder is a public health problem and deserves a public health response. We will spend the next week working with the Senate to iron out the differences between the House and Senate approaches, stressing a compassionate, therapeutic response to problematic drug use rather than needless criminal punishment. The other major public safety issue before us relates to police vehicle pursuits. In 2021, the legislature put restrictions on police pursuits, which are inherently dangerous, often injuring or killing innocent bystanders or passengers, and police themselves. Since then, we've heard from our partners in law enforcement that the limits on police pursuits do not work in every community. While cities in our area, like Kirkland and Redmond, already have police pursuit policies that are very similar to what the legislature established, other communities have different needs. So last week, we passed Senate Bill 5352, which adjusts the standard for police pursuits while still setting a baseline policy to keep our communities safe. This new policy will ensure that officers have the tools they need to keep dangerous suspects from fleeing. This week, we are focusing on concurrences and conferences, where the House and Senate work out any differences in the bills we passed and then send them on to the governor. The final budgets are also being negotiated now, and we will vote on them soon. On Sunday, April 23rd, we will adjourn for the year and return to our districts. That's all for now. Thanks for watching, and look for more Good Minutes coming soon.